Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour. This is season 9, episode 13. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is Dr. Cortina Lewis, aka the girlfriend therapist.
And this is Diana Richardson Philippus, your networking extraordinaire.
All right, ladies, it is Wednesday, and you know what that means. We are celebrating wins today because it is Winning Wednesday. So what are we celebrating today, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter how wide, okay. What are we celebrating today?
I can celebrate my daughter's home. Yay, for a little bit. I'm happy to see her. Oh, she has been so expensive since she's been here already. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Jesus. It's time for her to go back to school. But yeah, I'm excited she's here. So as soon as we get off of this, I'm going to go spend some time with her.
Okay. When does she go back? Or is she out for the summer?
She has to be back Friday. No, because she's working at the university as an orientation leader. So she has to go back. So she has she reports on Friday. We have to take her up there, but I wanted her to be here for Mother's Day. So she's going to come back and then we got to drive her back up there on Sunday.
Oh,
this is a busy week.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, too bad she don't have a car because then she could probably drive herself back and forth.
That's true. She would love to see that.
I'm sure you might see her too much then. She'll be home every weekend. Diana, what about you? What are you winning this week?
Well, I'm going to celebrate what I did today.
Okay.
So today I washed and bathed and groomed my own dog. Just one. Okay. I ain't do 3. I just did 1. I should get her. She's not perfect, but I'm getting my grooming skills intact. So she was like my little guinea pig today. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Did she behave?
So kudos to me for taking some time to groom Suki. I should go get her, y'all. My baby looked cute. I mean, well, I might have nicked her a little bit, like just right there. It's a little too short on the side. But anyway, I'm celebrating. I did it. I did it.
Good for you.
Another round, yeah.
Very good. What about you?
Okay, so I'm going to pat myself on the back and do, and I would not even say, no, this is not really bragging, but I'm proud of myself. So I'm going to celebrate this. And if it sounds like bragging, I don't give a fuck. I am celebrating that I am in a season of demand and I didn't even know it. So I think it's important that sometimes we don't know our value to anything until people are literally fighting over you for your skill set.
For sure.
And that's what's happening in my world right now. And so I'm going to give myself a round of applause because I have worked extremely hard to get to where I am. And sometimes, again, I did not realize my value until, because remember, I think we talked about that before. It's like, you don't really know. And then you got people that's like, oh no, I want her here. I want her here. I want her here. And so a good bit of a chunk of my time is like having a really great advocate not to have me stretched thin. So I am blessed because I'm watching the fruits of my labor flourish. And I'm going to own that shit because I didn't, I've really worked hard to get to where I am and I'm in demand. So this is my season.
I didn't hear no clapping. Come on.
I clapped.
There it is.
I clapped. So and I'm sharing that. So I want everybody to look out here and recognize no matter what you do, you are in season especially when you don't even realize how much. But when you become in demand and people want you, never lower your value for it. And sometimes holding your ground, and I held my ground with this. holding your ground to your worth and then proving it says a whole lot. So remember that about yourself. You didn't work this hard to settle. And so don't settle, and you would realize like, damn, I'm in my winning season because I'm saying yes to everything that's important to me and what's valuable to me. And it will show up in some of the best ways because you're not discounting yourself. You're not discrediting yourself. You're not devaluing yourself. So that's a little tidbit for you. Be in demand.
Period.
Yes. All right. Speaking of in demand, what's our drink for today?
Yes. So, in the spirit of the topic for tonight, the name of the drink tonight is Facade. So it's very pretty on top, but as you get down and you start drinking, you realize it's very different at the bottom. So this is how you make this drink. 1.5 ounces of tequila, 2 ounces of orange juice, 0.5 ounces of fresh lemon juice, and 0.5 ounces of green tea. So what you want to do is fill the glass with ice, about 3/4 the way filled. You want to add in the tequila, the orange juice, and the lime juice, and some edible sparkling glitter, and you give that a stir. And then once you stirred it, you just want to get a spoon and pour grenadine over the back of the spoon. It's going to float to the bottom. And with the swirling and the edible glitter, it looks like something that it isn't. So that's the drink.
And it sounds delicious, might I add, because I like me some tequila. Is there any brand of tequila? Should we use gold?
No,
silver,
any kind that you like. I think last week we did a tequila drink too.
I like.
And if you want to be fancy, you can also add an edible flower. There we go. Makes it really pretty.
These edible flowers.
I know you missed it last week. She switched it up.
Yes.
And we were like, no, you have to put the edible, you got to go back to the edible flower. You have to bring the edible flower back because, it is what it is. Okay. So I'm going to give Cortina the floor to just start it out because we just gonna get this part done and over with because I know you are in your fields. I have never received so many DMs from her. So I'm going to roll the floor over for Cortina to kick off our accountability conversation. We're about to get real right here. So
the reason I was kicking around the idea of us talking about this topic, and this is just like a small part of a bigger conversation, but I think it needs to be had because it was just a hot topic. It's still around and swirling, and there's a lot of think pieces on it. There's a lot of people talking about it. And this is the situation between Cheyenne Bryant and against therapists. Let me just say that. Not that she's against therapists, but how therapists are speaking out and saying, hold on, wait. The information you spitting is not accurate, right? Mm-hmm. And so first, let me say this. I don't think if you have not done the rigor or the 3,000 plus hours post-graduation, plus done internship, plus set for a test, plus had to become licensed with the state, I don't think you should be downplaying what it takes to actually do the work. Now, with that being said, does that mean that everybody who went through that is an amazing therapist? Absolutely not. Just like you have a lot of doctors who did medical school, did all the things, and they still be fucking up people, right? That's what malpractice insurance is for. Right. So keep that, hold that. So Cheyenne Bryant was on Joe Budden's podcast, and she said a phrase, and no one who I have come across who is a licensed professional feels like there is a problem, no problem with her being a coach if that's what she wants to be. We love Iyanla. But she makes it very clear she is not a therapist. She knows her lane. She's branded. She's in demand. She's wanted everywhere. I used to love to watch the show. No hate, no nothing. But when she was on the podcast, Cheyenne Bryant, she made a statement and she said, I no longer practice under a license because it gives me more freedom. Right. So someone listening to that would assume that at some point she held a license. Well, she never held a license. So you can't say that because that's a little, I would say, fuzzy in the truth when you are saying, you know, I no longer hold a license. That's like me saying I no longer hold a medical license. Well, shit, I ain't never held a license. So I can't be out here giving medical advice to people as if I had. That would be like me, like R.F. Kennedy Jr. being the head of the Department of Health and Human Service, right? That would be like Miss McMahon over Department of Education when she ain't never worked in a classroom in her life, like just unqualified to do certain things. Now, let me say this. I believe that there are healers of all sorts. I believe we need spiritual healers. I believe we need emotional healers by way of experience, their own experience. I believe we need coaches. I believe we need spiritualists, not just pastors, but people who do real spiritual, like ancestry type of African spirituality healing. I believe all of these things has its place. I do believe that having a credential and doing therapy gives you a responsibility to the people. Yes, you can be all of these things, but there's no oversight for you. Well, let me not say that, because in ancient practices, there was like a head shaman or a head person who oversaw other spiritual healers and leaders. There was a chain of command and how you did things. You didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to go out here and heal people, right? There was some apprenticeship. You worked under somebody. People knew you by the works that you performed and what you did for other people, right? Okay. So people weren't just out here willy-nilly just calling themselves these things. I'm sure there was some people that were, but guess what? They were kind of cast down like, we don't see nothing in you. You look like you scamming. You look like you not for real. When it comes to Miss Bryant, and I believe that her doctorate is honorary. So it's not even in anything clinical, right? So that's another thing. I don't have a problem at all, because I don't count people's pockets. I don't do any of that with what you do and how you make your money. What I do have a problem with is misrepresenting the field. And when she made a statement that, oh, you know, you only need a license to bill insurance. That's not the only reason why you have a license, right? When I first started my practice, and all y'all knew this, I didn't even take insurance. So I could charge whatever I wanted. That gave me flexibility. That gave me freedom. I didn't take insurance. So when I heard that statement, I was like, that's a lie. And it kind of makes us like, well, you know, you little people down there, I have more freedom and I'm not bound by a board. A board is not for therapists. A board is actually kind of punitive, because if you hurt a client, they can make a complaint, and guess what? You're going to be investigated. I believe that's called checks and balances. That's what being responsible and accountable to something bigger than yourself. That's what it looks like. Also, and do I think the board is 100% on what they need to do? No, because I think some of their rules are a little bit outdated. I don't feel like they are all the way culturally inclusive. However, but for the bigger scope, if wrong harm is done to a client, that therapist will pay for it, right? Also, malpractice insurance. You have to carry malpractice insurance just in case you harm a patient. So in addition, if a client sues you for something that they feel like you did wrong, guess what? You have malpractice insurance because you are licensed. You are able to get malpractice insurance. So the person who is seeking your service, when you are licensed, they know that if you fuck me up, I got some way to come back at you, right? I'm going to report your license. I'm going to file a claim against you, and I'm going to be recouped something, whether for my pain and my anguish or something, and you might not ever be able to practice again or hold a license again. When you don't have that oversight, who do you report to? Also, we are bound by a board of ethics. We cannot say or give any confidential information. Why? You might lose your license. There was one other time when Miss Bryant, she mentioned something about someone reaching out for therapy in her DMs. And I want to say she said the name, and I was just like,
Offset.
Why?
Let me ask you this. So, not to cut you off, but Dr. Cheyenne, whomever, right? what is she doing counseling on? So I've heard of her, but I've never really given her very much. So is she a relationship counselor? Is she dealing in mental health? Is she under,
She says she's a
branding herself as
psychological, she's a psychology expert. And my thinking, when I think expert, I think you are credentialed in that field.
Mm-hmm.
She's not credentialed in psychology or in the field. So even if someone who got a bachelor's degree in psychology, why would you call yourself a psychology expert when you have a whole master's program you might need to go through and possibly a PhD program? Now, there are some people that just have a master's degree that can call themselves psychological experts or even mental health experts. Why? Because if they're licensed, they can absolutely consider themselves to be an expert on a particular field that they have had extensive study in.
Correct.
I don't know. And I think people who follow her, I think she's beautiful. What got me was the arrogance of her response, because when people were trying to correct her, I love Dr. Raquel Martin's response.
Oh, yes. It was great.
She broke it all the way down. And for Miss Bryant to respond to her, I don't know if she responded to her, but to therapists as a whole, to say we're haters. And some people are saying, oh, they're just jealous because they don't make enough and everything like that. There are so many.
Is that what
people.
she's doing?
Yes.
Have you?
That is what she's doing.
You have to
she
see
is not taking accountability. Yeah, she is not taking accountability at all for the fact that, one, she has lied up until the point about her background, and she has. I think she's taken misrepresentation to a whole nother level. It should be
basically she got
it should be illegal. What she is
she
doing.
Got called on a carpet.
It is illegal
about misrepresentation.
That's what I'm saying. It should. Well,
And now,
and she's not holding account. She's not being held accountable to that.
Because therapist is a protected term. Psychotherapy therapist, those are all psychologists. All of those are protected terms.
Correct.
Yep.
You cannot just use them willy-nilly and misrepresent yourself, right? So again, for whoever is listening, it's not about hate, but I can't condone. And I know we gotta love Black women, we gotta support Black women, protect Black women. I am for all of that, but we also cannot sit here and condone stuff when it's not right.
Yeah, it's not right. Understanding she got the majority of her money from a book. She had written a book.
She just wrote a book. I know she has a book that's on pre-order. So I don't know.
It was another book. And so to my understanding, to me, she just came out of nowhere.
No, she's been around. Yeah, she's been around, but she was on Basketball Wives. And so
yes, she was the one with Jackie.
Yes, that's Jackie's friend. Yes. Well, and so she's in a and this is my thing. You're not in the trenches doing real work. You ain't on the phone with people when they feel like they about to blow their brains out and trying to talk them down and really doing therapy with people and going deep and having to be on the line, right? And this is nothing to anybody who is an influencer there's space for everybody. But if you're
except for people who are faking credentials, there's no space for you.
Look, that's true. But are you really in the field doing the work, or do you just have talking points that sound really good? Because I'm not gonna lie, there's some stuff that she says I can definitely get behind. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, especially when she was on Cam Newton and she was called, I was like, yeah, he needs to hear that because he don't need to be pity patted. Okay, I can see that, but I also saw that as coming from someone who probably was in the coaching lane, right? Because as a therapist, I mean, and that wasn't the place for anybody to be therapized, but I could agree with that. So I'm not going to sit here and say everything she says is trash, because I would be lying. But there are some things that I'm like, I don't think a psychological expert would possibly say that. I don't know about that. But when I say we're in the trenches, we're actually working with clients and doing the work. And does everybody who's an expert have to be doing that? But I think at some point you have had to have been able to do that. And a lot of people also get that in their internship, which is intensive. And so when you are on podcasts, when you're on tonight's conversation, when you are on all of these big name things, people see you as such. You wear the title doctor, and it's honorary. Okay, whatever. That's a whole nother
you know what?
bandwagon.
Don't even get me started about no damn honorary, because I don't recognize, will never, ever, ever, ever recognize an honorary doctorate. I don't give a fuck who you are. You
But it's
didn't
not
earn,
even
you
like,
did not earn it. You didn't pay for it. I mean, because I'm saying I went through my doctorate, and I'm sorry, I cried for like 3 weeks straight. I lost 7 pounds on a dissertation diet. This shit is work.
It's
It
hard.
is work. I lost countless hours of sleep, and it's just a lot. And so
The
I don't care
revisions.
what you do. Yeah. And all of the different phases. Like, you can't even get to your dissertation without going through several layers from
proposal that can come back all written up. Okay, you got to fix this, got to fix this. You need more to your literature review. You need to expound on this point. And it's like rewriting all over. Literature review probably like 45 pages by itself. And that's just the literature that you're compounding to help support what you're doing. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic for another day. So I just feel like if she would have just flat out came out and been like, yeah, I'm a coach, nobody wouldn't have said nothing. When she started speaking inaccuracies and falsities on the reason why people have licenses, that's when the divide came. And we was like, whoa, you ain't even in this field. So we're not going to let you misrepresent what we do and downplay the importance of what it means to have a license. Is a license the end all be all? No, it's not. Because like I said, there's a lot of people who have the power and the ability to heal, but they just choose not to go on for whatever their reason. But they're also not out here touting themselves and pretending that they have a license in a particular field when they do not. And so,
like, for example, I will give you a good example with you saying that. I started out in psychology. I was in a dual master's program, one for administration, one for marriage and family therapy. I chose, after getting halfway through my master's program, I realized I didn't like working with families anymore. I was like, yeah, I don't care. It's a lot working with adults. I would just say that. It's a whole lot, especially in a family dynamic, who don't want to hold themselves accountable to do the work. And that was like really burning out. And so I was like, I'm going to change fields. It does not change my passion for psychology. And I tell people I am a mental health advocate. I advocate for mental health. I will give you resources for mental health. I'm not going to be speaking like I know something. I will speak on things that I do know about, but that's from education and learning and research. But I would never say, oh, I'm licensed, or I'm out here doing therapy. Like, no, that's also why I don't really want to even coach, because people want to divulge extra information and I don't feel like it. I make a great mentor because I also know the resources that I can give to somebody. I know where to mentor you to and guide you to get what you need, because it's not always from me. And I'm not going to put myself out there to cause harm to anybody at all. And I think that's crazy that you won't even. I think it's even crazier for me that she, instead of coming back and apologizing in some way, shape, or form, to even retract what she said. And so I think what the other part is, what she failed to realize is, ma'am, if you got credentials, you have to, your license should be public. Your license should be.
She said that she's not licensed.
Hide them. And she said she gave up her license. There is nowhere that she had a license.
No longer practice under a license. What does that mean? At one point you did. There is no database that shows where that ever happened. So in an article that they pulled up, it says marriage and family therapist, LMFT, licensed marriage and family therapist, in an article that was written. And we do know how these articles are. They send them to you to review them before they print them. If someone reported that I am a psychologist, I would say, you need to correct that, because I know ethically that is a misrepresentation of what I am. I have to say I am a licensed clinician. I am a licensed psychotherapist. I am a licensed therapist, whatever you want to call it, but you cannot falsely present yourself as such. That's why registered interns that are pre-licensed individuals, they don't call them pre-therapist, because therapist is a protected term. And so if you did take an ethics course, you would know this. You would know there are certain things that you can and cannot say, i.e. HIPAA. If you're a coach, who the hell, if you can say a whole client list, who's going to bother you? And my thing is, I saw someone who made a comment. They were like, oh my God, all y'all jealous because she's light skinned and pretty and all of this. And I'm like, and they were
what that got to do?
Wait, they said, how many therapists you know are in a room, with millionaires? And I'm thinking in my mind, I can count.
There's plenty
currently.
Yeah,
lots.
There's a lot.
I've worked with plenty of athletes amongst different fields, different fields, Chad, different sports. So you can't just make these baseless statements out of nowhere. And this is the thing that gets me with people. When you call someone out in love and you try to shift the narrative, that's accountability. It's not hating. And I think people feel like when you call someone out, and it wasn't even done in a disrespectful way, nobody called out nobody's name, none of that stuff was done. People think you're hating when you try to hold someone accountable. If we are talking about protect Black women, we need to talk about protecting all Black women. And that means potential clients that harm can be done to them. People need to know. People need to know, what am I signing up for? Yes, I want you to be my coach. I know what you are. I know what you do. Yes, I want you to be a therapist. What do you do as a therapist? Yes, that's what I need. You're a spiritual healer. How you going to help me? Okay, yes, I want to go with you. Give them the information so that they can make the informed decision, not based on what you put out there, but based on what the accurate information is. Do I believe that there's a caveat or line of people that will do great with her? Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, there's a place for everybody, but you cannot be opening people's wounds and you don't know how to close them back up. And with that said, does that mean that every therapist knows how to therapize people appropriately? Are there some inappropriate therapists who have sex with their clients and relationships and do crazy stuff with them? Absolutely. But guess what? They're going to get sued. They're going to lose their license. There's consequences to their actions because they are held to an ethical standard. And when they miss the mark on that ethical standard, they are held accountable for it. That's where it's fuzzy. And my thing is, instead of coming out saying they hate it, I'm still going to make my money, you can't stop my bag, blah, 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 blah. That further shows me, where's the humility? Where is the, you know what? I misspoke. I never wanted to misrepresent myself as something I was not. So let me correct it, right? So there's a lot of things. Now she says like psychology expert. What the hell is a psychology expert? Because this is my thing. You can write cookbooks all you want, but if you ain't never got in the kitchen and cooked, how we know you can cook? Come on. You can fix planes. Just because there's a mechanic who knows how to fix planes, you know that plane in and out. That don't mean you know how to fly it.
Well, how about you can write a cookbook, but that don't make you a sous chef?
So does it match? Does it meet up? And I think that is the biggest. Like some days some pass by, because y'all know when I first said that to y'all, oh child, I just felt
on fire.
And it wasn't even her per se. It was the brainless people saying that therapists were jealous. Oh my God, that's crabs in the bucket. No, baby, we're not trying to stop nobody bad, but at the same time, you're not going to misrepresent and tell me something that I went through all this just to be able to build insurance, baby, when there was 4 years when I first started my group practice where I did not even take insurance. The only reason why I take insurance now is for my interns to be able to bill, because I have interns.
I went on her website. So she has branded herself as a life coach.
She changed it.
So is that what she did? That's what I'm thinking too, because it says here that she's a life coach and a speaker and a brand ambassador for Long Beach Unified School District. And she's also an author.
Yeah.
So Nowhere am I seeing. Hold on, let me go to the about page because I like to get into it. Hold on.
She probably changed everything because it's been days, and so there's a lot of
psychology expert. She presents herself as a psychology expert, renowned life coach, a co-producer of MTV's Best Unscripted Reality Show. Okay, whatever.
So you know what? This also brings up a whole nother portion of accountability. If you are a business owner, because now she's saying I'm not licensed, so take therapist out her name.
Take it out.
She is doing business unethically. If she is doing any kind of therapy, coaching that moved to therapy, all because she's saying she's leaving licensure. So I think, and we see this all too often. I think what this came out with Stormy, whatever her name is, Coach Stormy, being sued because some people feel like they didn't get what they were supposed to get from her coaching. And so
no, she's being sued because of the TLC brand where she was bringing people in.
Oh yeah,
and telling them that they would be able to make
millions,
a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And I'll tell y'all, I mean, she, first of all, did she really make the amount of money that she made? Yes, she did. She did.
Not these other people.
There's a couple of other people that did that.
But if you had 24,000 consultants and only 1% of them made $1 million, you gonna tell all. They said half of them made $0. Because don't forget, you got to buy the product. So if I'm spending more than the sales that I'm getting, you cannot make
each one that she brought on. It only added to her, as long as they stayed on, as long as they continued to purchase. So,
but that's the thing, Diana. It's all about transparency, honesty, and truth.
Absolutely.
That's why Stormy herself said, "I can't say this because it's a misrepresentation. I have to change my messaging."
Yes.
That's all we're saying for homegirl.
Yeah, but I also think the other thing with Coach Stormy, and I'm not, I don't want anybody who's having a lawsuit, like, don't kill me by saying this. But I do think that sometimes when you get involved in something and they say you can make millions, you also have to understand that, like, if 1% of her people if 1% of people made their money, how much work did that 1% really do? If you're saying you can make this much money, there's a level of work that might be required that you might have just thought in your mind, oh, I'm just going to be able to sit back and make money. And you didn't make money because you were sitting back instead of doing the work like these 1% of people who did make millions from her. And so I'm not blaming the people who didn't make the money. All I'm saying is that sometimes we get caught up in the bigger picture, not realizing the work that comes with it. And then it's like, well, damn, I didn't make this much because of this and this and that.
Started on that topic,
but it's the truth. But it's the truth.
It's
and so
very
sometimes
true.
in the business, when you are in business, and I'm talking when you are in business for yourself, and all of us that can attest to this, there is a level of sacrifice that you literally have to make. In order to make whatever it is that you want to make. It's going to make work. I don't care if shit is just given to you for free. There's still going to be a level of work in order for you to see a good return on investment, to make money from it or anything else. You don't just all of a sudden have a viral moment, but you might be online 10 years and then next thing you know, it's like, damn, I had a viral moment. And so now I'm popping. But it took 10 years to do it. Even if you had a social media person the whole time, that's slowly growing. And next thing you know, it's just that one thing. And that might be your only thing. And then it's
even with that, Pam, because in the age that we're in right now, right, especially with social media, and when you're speaking to, the viral moments, even with viral moments, right, you can hit 1 million views and still be broke.
Oh yeah,
you can hit 1 million views and ain't nobody.
Absolutely.
People are misled, and I honestly feel that a lot of people, and let me let me lower my voice because I get passionate. Y'all, that's the coach in me. Because I be real strong with people because I'm like, you can't expect to boss up in any level if you're not going to do no work.
That part.
Whether you get a coach, whether you have a viral moment,
you got to do it.
Like it's not going to happen. It takes a certain level of grit and grind and self-motivation, right? Self-determination in order for you to reach whatever goal it is that you have for yourself. I do believe in educating yourself. I am an advocate for coaching and mentoring, not because I'm one, because I have a coach and I keep a coach, right? For every level that I want to exceed to. But I honestly believe that people really have a false perception of, oh, if I can just make money, like, okay, so I'm going to buy this course and then all of a sudden I'm going to be a millionaire and I don't have to do anything. Lies.
Yeah.
Lies. It takes work. We all work.
But you also can't go around in business and trust me, and Cortina, this might be another sore spot for you too.
Oh shoot.
It's about not only reading the fine print, but also holding the people who you're receiving service from accountable. One, if anybody is saying that they are a business owner and they're like, send me money via Cash App or any other way where your money is not protected, just don't do it. Don't even do service with them. And even if that's their only way, because I feel like that's their way to circumvent income taxes and all of these other things. And it's also a very insecure, it's an unsecured way that if, let's say you don't get what you want, your money's gone. But then also the other part is opening up checking accounts, giving people your credit card numbers, all of that with good faith, because I have seen people's identities be stolen. I have seen people who run up credit cards, and next thing you know, it's like they owe you a whole lot of money and all kinds of stuff. Disappeared. And
oh shoot!
They say, well, seriously, or they say, well, I'm going to get you all of this, and they make it appear like they're doing work when in reality they're
not doing nothing.
And so you have to tread really carefully and read the fine print and do your homework. That's the other part. Do your homework. Find resources. There are a lot of people who reach out to me and they will ask me about a certain individual, and I give it 100. I'm like, this is what it is.
Let me tell you something. That person, somebody told me a couple years ago, yeah, I'm going to jump on board to do this in Africa, blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, I just want you to do a little bit of homework on that, because, I'm like, I'm trying to tread lightly, but at the same time, and she was like, well, what's going on? I was like, just do some homework on that before you jump off the ledge, okay? But she didn't end up doing it. I was like, praise the Lord.
It's all kind of, it's a lot of craziness. So, but you have to be really, really careful when you are dealing with people who say they're in business. And ask for business credentials. I would be like, you know what? Do you have an EIN? Because some people are just saying I'm an LLC, but they're not LLC'd under the tax law.
That part.
And so I'm not saying you can't get your hustle on. I'm not saying you can't be a business owner, but really you might be an entrepreneur because you just like to do things. But being an entrepreneur and being a business owner are two different things. Like, I don't like to call myself an entrepreneur. I've learned that, let me remove that, because you don't see Mark Zuckerberg saying I'm a entrepreneur. No, he says he's a business owner. He owns several businesses.
That's
and
right.
So, and they're legitimate. So if you have an EIN and you're doing your taxes and you are on the up and up, there you are now really a business owner more so than an entrepreneur, because to me, an entrepreneur is just somebody out here that's street hustling. And I'm not saying that you won't be hustling when you are working. However, oh God, y'all, I have been sitting here with a dog like strapped to me and his
There
daddy
we
just came home, so I no longer have to do that. But yeah, so you have to look at, like you say, Cortina, it goes back to being properly credentialed in some way, shape, or form, whether, if you are doing therapy, if you are in business, if you are leading people in any kind of way to think anything other than the actual truth,
right.
you don't need to be doing business with anybody.
So this is what I will say. Because do y'all remember when Corey Holcomb was on, who the hell he was on? He was on someone's podcast. This was a couple years ago. And Cheyenne Bryant was brought up, and he like went in, right? I was like, damn, why he doing her like that? Like, he jealous? Like, I think she is a doctor. Mind you, because that's all I know, like Cheyenne Bryant or whatever. I said, God, don't, like, y'all, if y'all ain't see it, y'all gotta go.
I didn't see it.
Go back. This was like a couple years ago, but everybody was kind of like on him, like, dude, why you saying all this about her? When this started going on, it played back in my mind. I said, everybody owe Corey Holcomb an apology. Now he had to call her a bitch and all that. He had to say all that. I ain't like the way he was talking about her in a derogatory way, but what he was saying, full circle moment, like, I'm like, dang. But this is what I think. I think when people present well-spoken and nice and put together, you give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know this might be controversial to some people, but I do believe she's practicing in pretty privilege as well. She's very attractive. Her body is tea. She dresses nice. And I don't think that people second guess what she presents, if that makes sense to you. Because I'm going to say there could be somebody, like, my thing is, when you have podcasts, why don't they actually reach out to credentialed licensed people? If that's why I don't understand these mental health brunches with,
but she's also well connected, right? And so she's connected in that way.
But let me ask you,
why she's going on, podcasts like with Joe Budden.
No, what I'm saying is, if you Google right now and type in Corey Holcomb and Cheyenne Bryant,
I already did.
It's going to say Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, psychologist. That's what it's going to say. It's going to say Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, psychologist. That is not right. It should not come up like that, right? You ain't gonna see nowhere where my name connected comes up, and I'm not as big as her, but that's a bigger reason. You have 3.9 million followers. How many of them actually know that you're real credentials? Because the layperson, it's all confusing to them. They really don't get it, right? And I'm not trying to say, the common person don't know the difference, but you really don't know, like, why it's dangerous to say that you are something that you are not. Unless we go to the extreme. Okay, let's say I dropped out of residency. You want me doing your heart surgery when I'm not board approved or anything like that? You want me giving you the anesthesia that you might not wake up from when I ain't got the credentials to give it to you? Probably not. And so I think that is something that comes up. And just because someone says pretty privileged, that doesn't mean I'm jealous. It doesn't mean I want you to be ugly. Doesn't mean that I have insecurities. No, it just means that there are some spaces that some people are able to be in because of the way that they represent. And yes, how do you get connected in those spaces? You know people who know people. But again, if she never presented herself as a therapist or psychologist, my question would be, would she be on as the psychology expert? Probably not. Because do we call Shaq? He's well connected. Is he going to be on somebody's podcast as the psychology expert? No, because that's not what he does. When you have Ayanna Van Zandt on, they don't call her therapist, psychologist. They say, healer, Ayanna Van Zandt, or whatever she wants to go by. She's never misrepresented who she was. That's the whole thing, misrepresentation.
So I pulled it up, and there have been questions regarding this topic about her actually being a licensed therapist or psychologist, and her even down to like her doctorate, right? Since 2024. I think which is pretty much when she popped up on the scene, right? 2023, 24-ish. Because me personally, I never heard of her before. I did see her with Jackie,
Jackie.
on the Basketball Wives. And even then,
I feel like for her, it was with she was on with
like she was a
when
little
she was
ghetto.
on with that former basketball player. That's when I really heard about her, when she was talking about low vibration people and high vibration people.
She
That's
sounded like
when
Stormy Wellington with that one.
that's when to me that was the first time that I really heard about her, because I don't watch Basketball Wives, so I wouldn't know. But when she was on the podcast, I don't know why I can't think of his name. He interviews a lot of celebrities, but she was on there talking about low vibration people, and that was when I was like, oh, well, she's valid on some things and whatnot, but. And then people was kind of attacking her for her relationships and whatever, and how she thought about relationships with low vibration people and what she expected. But I always feel like I can kind of see what she was saying on those things. So some stuff I did agree with. However, I didn't realize that she was posing as a psychologist.
So let me ask you this also. She also has the Bryan Institute. When you think of that, what in your mind, what does that, when you think about institute?
Mental health.
You can have the Brain Institute. You can have the Institute for Reproductive Health. That gives you very, very technical in your field, right? I think that's a part of because I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, but and again, I think it's about what would the common person in society think? If you're calling yourself a doctor, you're saying you're these things, you even have an institute, that's going to give your story more credibility.
It gives a false reputation of what you really are.
Yeah. And so I
but I mean, when you go on to the Bryan Institute, it does say, hybrid life coaching. Oh, it's a certification.
Certification. Yes. What are you certifying people in?
To become a life coach. Apparently, I mean, I'm just reading what the girl got on there, child. It's a hybrid life coaching certification program. Build a thriving coaching practice that transforms countless lives. Obtain the knowledge, insight, motivation, and self-confidence to be a successful hybrid coach. Unlock your unique.
What the hell is a hybrid coach? Anyway,
I have no
my thing
idea.
Healing needs to be rooted in truth. The work that we do is about authenticity and being your genuine self. If you can't even represent yourself in a genuine fashion, how can you help other people do the same?
Yeah, I don't know what a hybrid. Let me see what. Oh, child, you need to go on here. You're gonna get mad at some of these things that she's saying, child. Bye. She about to.
Just be honest about what the hell you're doing. Like, girl, make your money however you want to see it. I don't care if you make your money on your back. I don't care how you make your
life coach hybrid.
I don't even know what that.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I know what a life coach is, but how is it hybrid? Like, are we breaking it apart into certain phases?
What does it say? What does
it say? In person and remote?
Girl. Okay.
I don't know. Diana and went on her website and dissected all kind of shit.
Because I got to know. I have to know. So, okay.
I don't know.
It's $10,000. Girl, she has lost her mind. I mean, it still does not clarify the Dr. Bryan Institute is a mental health and life coaching based institute. We are psychology experts that train and provide life coaching from a hybrid modality. Girl, I'm
tell me what's the hybrid modality though? And this is the
probably thing. Is she saying like therapy and coaching?
That's what it sounds like to me.
I tell you what, you know what it sounds like to me? She about as real as this motherfucker in the White House. That's what it sounds like to me. That's
They
what it
might be
sounds like to me.
friends, child. They
So
might
that's
be
where I
friends.
think the problem is. There just
the
needs to be
hell?
clarity and transparency. What is it that you provide?
So I'm looking for
What
the
is it
courses.
specifically that you are doing? How do you ensure that you're not doing your clients harm? Who oversees what it is that you're doing? And do I feel like everybody needs a big brother? No, but it does help you feel accountable to something. Like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. Because are you willing to do anything for money?
I'm sorry. You know what? So here's my other feeling. Suicide is too real to be playing with people's life.
Because baby,
too real. You got a lot. There's a lot of instability that's out here with people who are bottling up feelings, not knowing where to place them. And you have, I can't even.
I came to the hybrid part. So I'm confused at what Dr. Bryant actually
Cheyenne,
whatever her name, Cheyenne, okay? Because everything about her speaks the life coaching, right? Or unlicensed therapist. It says under the coaching program, it says most effective coaching approach. Dr. Bryant's unique hybrid approach can be applied to and is effective for one-on-one coaching, couples coaching, family coaching, group coaching, and small business and corporate coaching. What are we?
It just sounds like instead of like family therapy, couples care therapy,
But where small business and corporate come from? Under the life coach. Fix it. That's a whole nother. Dr. Cheyenne, we're gonna set up a meeting.
My whole thing is public awareness.
Yeah. Reading is fundamental. Read.
I believe, but if you're putting out the wrong thing for people to read, it's a misrepresentation. And I think in order for people to make sound decisions, they have to also know, like, what is it that I'm getting myself into? It's us as the professional to present ourselves in a light that is true and genuine to what we actually do. If you are a life coach, and if you are a life coach, most life coaches that went through some type of program or their own experience, they know the line. You start going deep back in chat. You know what?
Can't do it.
Let me send you to a therapist. When you ready, come on back and see me, right? Because they understand how we work hand in hand in tandem. There's not a competition because they're two separate lanes. They're different lanes. So no one is in competition with the other one. Therapists can charge whatever it is that they want to charge. And the thing is, I saw some other people saying, well, therapists don't make $100. Baby.
Lies.
My fees, $225 a session. $350 for evaluation. So I don't know where these people get. Everybody doesn't work for community health. Everybody doesn't take insurance. Everybody doesn't take Medicaid. And so I think people are saying things from their small scope of their understanding of the profession. There are so many different types of mental health therapists and the specialties that we work in. There are some people that work with individuals with intellectual delays, right? There are some people that work in maternal. There are some people that do marriage and family. There are some people that specialize in desire discrepancy, sex therapists, right? You have us all scattered in different things. You have some of us that are certified in EMDR, right? You have some biofeedback, IFS, EFT, all of these different modalities that we use to help our clients move forward. Tell me, we have to pay between $1,500 and $3,000 for these certifications. Do you know there's something called CEUs, continuing education credits? In order for us to maintain our license, we have to continue our learning. We have to continue to take education credits. And depending on what goddamn state you in, they have specific ones that you need to do. That's accountability. That keeps you sharp. That keeps you going. That keeps you learning. Because I'm a learner.
And how is she certifying somebody?
So you know what? Here's the other part. I think And maybe it's because social media is bringing more and more coaches into the environment or the
coaches have
world.
been around for a while.
But not for and not for me. I mean, it wasn't exposed. I was never really exposed to having as many coaches or knowing as many people who were coaching as I did when social media started popping everybody out there, because you get to advertise and you get to do all of those things. I do feel like, just like therapists require some level of licensure, with the way that things are going right now, I do feel like coaches should require some level of licensure to ensure that there is accountability, real accountability there, because some people are moving into these areas and you still have an opportunity to fuck up somebody's life. So now they need therapy at this point because you've taken things too far. I'm just saying, I'm being honest.
No, you're right.
Because they don't know where they're at. And so if you're going to hold a therapist accountable for all of these things, you are dealing with people. Yeah. There should be some level of required licensure that's going to hold you accountable. So you can't just go out here saying, "Oh, I'm a certified coach. I'm getting coaching certification because somebody went and took a class online." Now they're saying I can certify.
Right.
Yeah, I can certify somebody
and
to be a
coaching
coach.
Certificates. They are really, they don't have to pay her $10,000 to be for this certification.
But that's the thing. Anybody can get certified to be a coach, but you still don't know, even as a coach, the harm that you can be doing to someone. And so I feel like if you're going to hold a therapist accountable, you should be able to hold a coach accountable in some way, shape, or form too. So there should be some legalized licensure to say, yes, now by a state you are by blah, 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 because there are people who do coaching who don't have a legitimately set up business.
That's true. That's
really
true.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Why am I questioning that? I am sure of that.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. If you want to call yourself something and you are really truly and you are supposed to be transforming and doing all this life shifting, and I had a life coach, and if I ever need one, I would go back to her. But she's also married to a therapist. Shout out life coach Vaughn. But that was the thing. She knew her role, and her whole program is set up so there is no crossing boundaries. But my thing is, you don't find that many that, to me, that are like her, that made me feel very comfortable. And she knew where to go and how to handle it. And her program was like fucking awesome. But I feel like the way that she did hers, she may as well have been licensed, because she took what she did so seriously that it wasn't some makeshift throw in a box, at legitimate business. And so I think at some point it's probably going to come to that, given, look at this right here with Cheyenne Bryant. And she's saying, I'm going to step down from licensure just so that I can make more money and do more. I feel like
you never stepped up.
I feel like that woman is going to do some harm. And if she's calling herself a coach now, I feel like she does not have boundaries for the line between therapy and coaching, and that is going to cause harm. So I personally feel like there should be a board or some level of licensure or something required for coaches to ensure that they do no harm. Exactly, because it's not
at some point, but it did not ever. I know Florida was talking about this was, oh my God, this was years ago, regulating the field to some degree, not to the rigor of like a clinician therapist, you need hours, but something, because hell, don't you to wake up tomorrow, I'm quitting my job, I'm be a life coach. Who gonna stop him? He would never do that because he don't like people. But I'm just saying he could, if he wanted to. Anybody can be a coach. So when people say, I'm a grief coach, are you sure you're a grief coach, or are you a bereavement and grief peer support because you went through it, right? That means you're a peer because you went through it. You're sharing your story, but your story might not work with somebody. This is the thing. With therapy, when you're going deep, you can read all the books on how to heal somebody from their trauma. You can have 10 people sit in front of you that had the same trauma. That 10th one be like, God damn, everything that worked for everybody else ain't working on this one. Well, you got to do something else that ain't in the book. What experience do you have to help this person navigate this so that they can continue their healing process? And then close them up before you leave them, so they not just open before they come back to the next session.
Going committing murder suicides, like the fuck.
Right, just butt naked on 285, just out there on 285 naked, running free.
Yeah.
I just hope if you are going to find any type of person that you feel like you need for your healing, make sure that you are intimately aware of what you are signing up for and who you are getting. If you want a coach, see how long they've been coaching, because I don't want somebody who just became a coach yesterday. I want you to have I want you to be a coach with some experience. You done help somebody, make it to the next level. They weren't broken, they was healed, but they just want to take it to the next level. I'm good, but I want to be great. I want to be stellar. I want to be excellent. Good, but I want for you to have helped other people along the way if I decide that I want to coach. If I'm broken, you know what? I might be a little too broken. I might not want to intern. No shade to interns, because everybody who have a license, we were once an intern. But I might need somebody that's a little bit, more seasoned. Right? Because this is hard. This is going to make your head hurt. You might not even want to be a therapist when I'm done with you, because I'm going to give you a run for your money. So you need to make sure you know what you want. That's why we have limitations of therapy. We have all of our consent forms, because if someone comes to me, I say, hey, these are the different pay tiers. If you want a graduate level intern, if you want to register a postgraduate intern, if you want a licensed person, so that you know their education level and what you are getting. That's all about your disclosure. Your disclosures. You're disclosing these things to clients and to patients. So if you are looking for somebody, just make sure you do your homework. Know what you're getting to. Ask people questions. There's nothing wrong with inquiring. If somebody doesn't want to answer your questions, they might not be the person that you need to be going to.
Absolutely.
And I think it's also very important to, if you have any problems or you want to talk about your life or anything, go to a therapist, because they're bound by HIPAA. You don't have to worry about hearing about it on social media. You don't have to hear about it on a podcast. You don't have to hear about it in the circles in the streets.
Nothing.
Because they are bound by confidentiality, whereas coaches are not.
And if they say something, you can sue them and you can report their license.
Yep. So I think that's one of the most important things is your healing should not be, it should be personal, because it is a personal journey. Transformation, it looks different for everybody, but you have to, read the fine print, make sure that you have someone who you can absolutely trust. And when all else fails, you want a therapist, because you don't have to worry about anything that you disclose, making it beyond that space.
For sure.
So we are at the top of the hour. And Diana, where can everybody find you at? And do you have any last words that you want to say?
No, I just couldn't agree more. You guys, do your homework. Be an advocate for yourself, right? In processing your journey, your transformation. Make sure that whomever it is that you are engaging with, that they can truly lead you where they say they can lead you, that they can help in the way that they say they can help, and that you are covered, with the heavy emphasis on covered. You can reach me at Diana Richardson Philippus on all social media platforms, and DianaRichardsonPhilippus.com.
And Dr. Lewis.
Any
last words, or any last words, and then where they can find you at?
No last words. I mean, just know what you're getting into. That's it. Okay. I mean, please know that if you're listening, this podcast was no hate, no shade, just information and education and a conversation, because it's needed. The more we talk about these things, the more educated, everybody will be. We can't just keep it a secret. And accountability is not just, supporting people when things are not the best. It's about calling them out with love, questioning things, because that's how we hold people accountable. And if we can't be accountable to each other, then who the hell are you accountable to, right?
Yeah.
So you can find me at the Girlfriend Therapist. I'm a real therapist. I'm licensed in several states. I passed my test and did my hours. So you can find me at the Girlfriend Therapist on all social media platforms, and you can also find me at the Noir NOIR Center, and also at Smile Facilitation Services.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you run that back really quick. You're a licensed therapist in how many states?
8.
Yeah, y'all saw me.
Okay, yeah, all real. You on all social media platforms at IAMDRPGURLEY. I am Dr. Pete Gurley. And of course, you can find the show on all social media platforms at Herspiration Happy Hour. Follow us, hit that subscribe button, support. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, we're going to keep it real right here. And of course, we're not in the business of shading. If anybody has watched this podcast, they will definitely know we are all about education and inspiration, but we will call you down on the floor when you are not right. Because one of the things that we want to do is to protect not just Black women, but Black people overall. And if you are in that space and you are causing harm to one of us in some way, shape, or form, we will have a discussion. We don't even really have to mention her name, but I mean, it was
we
worth
did.
mentioning. We did, but
it's everywhere.
And it's everywhere, and it's a numerous amount of people. So I think it's important, and that I will say is that how you spend your money is very important. And
for sure,
and like I said, make sure that you don't pay anyone. That's my tidbit. Don't pay anyone in a method that is unsecure at all. Because you can't dispute that. You can't fight that back. I'd rather have a chance to fight to have my money back rather than have to do lawsuits or anything else. Because whatever you're trying to procure matters, and not everybody is a business owner. So everybody who do business is not a business owner. So
everybody who do business is not ethical.
And that part, that too.
Or have common sense. Never mind. Let's wrap it up because we're gonna keep going on and on and on. Because
well, you learned some more.
Say what?
I was telling
Diana.
Yeah, my mind. You learned
more.
How
dare you?
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, you know what? Like we end how we end every show. We will see you back next week, same time, same place. Yeah, we have just a few more episodes before we go on summer hiatus. 1, 2, 3 more episodes before summer hiatus. You all join us for these conversations, and then after our summer hiatus, we won't be back until August. So, happy spring if you have that kind of weather. But like I said, same time, same place. And as we end our show, we always say, cheers.
Cheers.
This is Herspiration Happy Hour.